Welcome to Adding and Subtracting Rational Expressions. Let's get started. When you want to add fractions without a calculator, in this case we have 2/9 plus 1/3, you can't add them across until you have the same denominator. So the most common denominator is going to be 9, because this is 9, and we can multiply it by 3 to make this denominator 9. So if I do that here, then this ends up being 3 over 9, and I still have 2/9. Now I changed the denominator so it's the same, and I don't want to do anything else to that denominator. I just want to add the numerator across. So that becomes 5/9. Now when we subtract fractions, we want to do the exact same thing. We want a common denominator, and then we can subtract the numerators across. So in this case, I can multiply a 4 times 2 to get 8, so they both have a denominator of 8. And whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So I end up with 6 over 8 minus 1/8. Now I can just subtract across. 6 minus 1 is 5. And we keep the same denominator. You don't do anything with these. Now we want to apply those same rules to adding and subtracting rational expressions. So here's one rational plus another rational. We want our denominators to be the same. And the fastest way to find that is just like when we were multiplying and dividing them, we want to factor first. So this right here will factor to 3 times x minus 3. This factors to x minus 3 times x minus 2. X plus 1 is already as small as it'll go, and 5 is as well. So now we want to look and see how can we make the denominators the same. They both have an x minus 3, but this one also has an x minus 2. So we could put an x minus 2 over here. If we multiply both the top and the bottom, remember you have to do it to both. Now they both have an x minus 3 and an x minus 2. This fraction always also has a 3. So we need to multiply this by 3. Now you can see they're all going to have the same denominator. 3, x minus 2, x minus 3. And this side will have 3, x minus 2, x minus 3. Now we just put it together. We rewrite this fraction or this rational, and we have x minus 2 times x plus 1, and it's over our new common denominator, 3x minus 2x minus 3. We're still adding, and our 5 times 3 became 15, and we have 3x minus 2x minus 3. So just like in that first example with the other fractions, now we have the same denominator. So all we have to do is add across. And up here, all right, we factored. We found a common denominator. And now we just want to add the numerator, only the top, across. So now we actually do need to FOIL this. So that becomes x squared minus 1x, plus 1x minus 2x minus 2. Now when we add them across, we have this x squared, and my plus 1x and my minus 2x become minus 1x minus 2 plus 15. So we just added all these together. Over my common denominator, we keep it the same. And then of course we can combine these two right here, minus 2 plus 15. So my final answer is x squared minus 1x plus 13 over 3 times x minus 2 times x minus 3. And I want you to use those steps to try the example on your notes sheet, and we'll look at that together in class. Now subtracting rationals, again, we're going to do the same thing. It's just a little bit tricky because it's subtraction. We still want to factor first. This will make it easier for us to find a common denominator. And this one actually works just like it's exactly the same as the one we added. So you can see we've got 3 times x minus 3 and then x minus 3 times 2. So this side is missing a 3 and this side is missing an x minus 2 on the denominator. So we multiply the top and bottom by the same thing. And that gives us the same denominator. So at the top we have an x minus 2 times x plus 1. But on the bottom we have our new common denominator. Subtract. And then up here, be careful because we're multiplying this whole binomial by 3. So you need to distribute. If you want to remember that by always putting parentheses around these, you can do that as well. So this would become 3x plus 15 over our new common denominator. And remember, we want to FOIL up here. So we have x squared, and we'll have a plus 1x minus 2x, which is minus x minus 2. So we FOILed that. Now, when we subtract, we have x squared minus x minus 2. We're just subtracting the numerator across. But we've got to be careful with this negative sign because we're doing minus 3x minus 15. You're distributing that negative sign as you subtract. So this becomes minus 3x minus 15. Be very, very careful about this. Don't just put minus 3x plus 15 because that'll mess it all up. And this is all over our new common denominator. And then we just need to continue to combine our like terms. We've got a negative x and a minus 3x. We have an x squared, and then minus x minus 3x is minus 4x. So I use this, I use negative x, negative 3x, and then negative 2, negative 15 becomes negative 17. All over, again, our common denominator. Once you've made a common denominator, you never change it. You only worry about the numerator. So use these steps again to try the one on your notes. Even if you get it wrong, it's okay. We'll go over it in class. Here's a quick review of the steps. You always want to factor first. Factoring will help you find that common denominator. Make the denominators the same, then add or subtract that numerator only the numerator. Don't do anything else with the denominator once you've made it the same. And remember, when you subtract, you have to distribute that negative. It's very important to do so. That's it for now. Thanks for watching and see you soon.